like, a half beer, half they call it lemonade, but here like Sprite or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's nothing over there. Here, you couldn't. You would get your license yanked.
Oh no, you'd have to be in the paper. There'd be some woman there like, you giving your kid alcohol? Oh my god! But there she is, pumping full of fucking cheeseburgers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Twisted teas. There we go. Right? Yeah. That's the good. They're delicious twisted teas, right?
Yeah.
Plus, a couple of them get you pissed.
That's half beer, half.
It's not even beer. It's malted. It's just malted tea, right?
Yeah.
And it's just sweetened. Like down the states, like Big Mama's sweetened tea,
Yeah.
right? A little honey in that and sugar.
You see, it's beer based.
Yeah, it's because it's malted, right? So like barleys and stuff like that. So how long were you over there serving? Were you cooking in there at all? Or?
I cooked functions. I also helped cooking at this place called the Cook and Barker, which was pretty close to where my cabin was.
Which was whereabouts?
That was exactly where, if you watch any of the Harry Potter movies, the inside of Hogwarts School is not that, but the outside is Annick Castle, and that's where the Cook and Barker was in Annick, which is about 3 miles from where I was.
3 miles. Whereabouts? You're in the north of.
I'm just north of Newcastle, so I'm right on the Scottish border.
Yeah.
Look over the Cheviot Hills, and there's the Scottish with the blue asses.
In Hadrian's Wall, because Hadrian's Wall is built.
Hadrian's Wall.
It was
I'm
built
actually
right-
north of that.
You're north of Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah.
You're that far. You're that far north.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! What were the people like there when were you living with anyone there? Or you just by
No,
yourself?
I had a cabin, and everywhere else there was 8 cabins on the site, and everybody else rented. So my neighbors would be there for a week or two, and then new people would be coming. But I was the one that was there for the whole time.
Do you want to talk about Grimace?
Yeah, that was it.
We discussed this earlier, like a couple days ago, and I asked him to come on the podcast about this fantastic story he told me years ago. But it's an absolute classic. So let's continue on with this Grimace story.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about the Cook and Barker, because that's where it was. Okay, so at Christmas time, because I worked at this place called the Bank, I was bartending, but at Christmas time, they would get so many Christmas parties that this place that was close to me would hire me on, and I would mostly serve, but if they needed me in the kitchen, I'd be in the kitchen. So I'd work there for about 2 weeks at a time. And the only time I ever had the pleasure of being with a big one, and was the last time also. I met this girl, we had a couple drinks, and I had too many drinks, and we ended up spending the night together. And it was one night stand in the morning, thought that was it, But luckily, she didn't know where I bartended. She only knew I worked at the Cook and Barker, because that's where we met. So 2 nights later, I'm serving this big group, and if it was a kitchen, I could have hid, but yeah, no, I was working out front. And she came in, and she was with a couple older people, and she introduced me to her parents as her new boyfriend. So I had to stand there, completely lying to these two, I'm sure, nice people, because I'm not just gonna come out and say, no, I'm sorry, I just slept with your daughter.
Yeah, I was drunk. It looked good at the time. Clearly, it's not. But yeah.
But the thing about it was, the Grimace, is she happened to be wearing this, what she thought to be a stunning purple dress. And all I could see out of the corner of my eye was thinking of Grimace from McDonald's. And I'm pretty sure that's why they actually cut Grimace from the commercials after that.
Yeah,
because it's not appetizing.
No. Oh God, that story kills me every time. This is my boyfriend, blah blah blah. What the fuck is going on? It's like completely off guard. You turn around, she's standing there.
I totally understand where they called about that internal combustion, where people just burst into flames. Because I felt
spontaneous combustion.
Yeah. I felt my internal temperature rising and rising and rising. It was like I went from a normal temperature to about 156 degrees in like 3 seconds. There's sweat coming. I'm wearing a white, the white shirts you have
the
to
button
wear.
ups, yeah.
And I swear, it looked like I had been just walked out of the shower. I was talking to them for maybe 45 seconds. Longest 45 seconds of my life, and I was dripping.
Welcome to the family, son. And Oh God, yeah.
You coming over for dinner tomorrow? Yeah, sounds great.
Did you leave the next day?
I had 2 more shifts to do, so I made sure that the plans were made after that. And the next Christmas, I didn't go back because I didn't know she was still.
She's probably still waiting for you there in the purple dress.
But you figured it'd be pretty easy to track down the one Canadian guy in the
the one tall, skinny, lanky Canadian guy. Probably the only one in the county.
Yeah.
Right? Probably within 100 miles, right?
But no, I guess her detective skills were not as good as my hiding skills.
So, when did you come back to Canada? After that.
I believe I was about 29, and I came back just for a vacation. I was going to go back to Vancouver, and a good friend of mine passed away while I was there, and his wife had my godson, and they had a second son. She was pregnant with a third, which turned out to be Tilly, a girl. You probably know her, Jane McClure from The Angel. I don't know if you worked with her at the time, but yeah. So
Yeah,
her husband had
sure.
just passed away, so I ended up staying.
Yeah.
And
Was that Vancouver or here?
in Niagara Lake.
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
I came back for a vacation. I ended up staying, and that's when I got my first like bartending job. Was at the Anchorage in Niagara Lake, and that's where everything just kind of went downhill from there. My life in the restaurant industry, I was skyrocketing.
Yeah, you're doing
Until
well
the Anchorage.
until the Anchorage happened, and then it was
Yeah.
just all downhill from there.
Yeah, I had a bartender, Lenny, that taught me the ways of Zambuca.
Zambuca.
Yeah.
Why? What was one of the funny Zambuca stories there?
Oh no, it wasn't funny. It was just when I started drinking it. Because prior to that, I would sip the beer behind the bar or in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's hot, you sip. But he was like, no, if the boss catches you drinking, you get in trouble. So you just down them quick, right?
Well, sure, a little dabble, do you?
Just get over the hump.
Just get over the hump. Yeah.
So instead of having 1 pint or 2 pints through a 6-hour shift sipping on it, it became just a quick one. And then that quick one became, once every 2 hours, once every hour, once every 15 minutes. And then, well, I just finished one. The glass is still wet. You don't want it crystallizing. Might as
Yeah.
well just fill it back up again.
Yeah, half the shot in there. Just swish it around,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
called it a day. How long were you at the Anchorage for?
I was under probably less than 9 months. Yeah.
Where'd you go after that?
I was at the Lewis House, which is now the Irish Harp.
The Lewis House. It was called the Lewis House.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it was the Lewis House was there for, I'd say close to 30 years.
How many places did you do in Niagara? Like, did you do the whole tour?
No, I never worked at Angel because that was my drinking hole. I was Starters, then that closed down. So I was at the Anchorage, then I was at the Lewis House, then went to the Anchorage, then I was at Starters. Starters closed down, and then I was at the Sports Bar, and I was there for 9 years. Sporties.
You're at Sporties for 9 years?
9 years, yeah.
Jesus.
5 years bartending and 4 years GM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, how was that for 9 years?
Well, it was good. Except what happened was they were paying me a monthly
Like salary?
wage,
Yeah.
and then after about 3 years, they sold. Somebody else came in, and they said, we're going to start paying you every 2 weeks, and we're going to give you a little raise. So I thought, okay, that's good. Well, what happened is every 2 weeks, I was getting the same as I used to get every month. So I thought, that's my little raise. Well, after about a year, they were doing accounting and realized they'd been double paying me for a year.
So you're just caking it?
Oh yeah. So they basically said to them, well, what we'll do is, because I was still making tips, is we'll just not pay you for the year, and then that'll even things out. I figured it's just better just to move on.
Yeah, how would they go up to you and say, we're not going to pay for you? Guess what?
Yeah.
You paid me. You went for a whole year without paying me?
Yeah.
And, no, you went for a whole year paying me double. And now
Yeah.
you want me a year not paying?
Yeah.
Fuck you. That is your problem. That is not mine.
Yeah. And where's this raise then?
Yeah, where's the raise?
Yeah. I
So
thought that
it's-
was my raise.
So your monthly amount they're giving you, they started giving you every 2 weeks instead.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. I was making some good.
You were going to
good
say
change.
shit, right?
Oh,
No. Plus the tips there in Niagara Lake are absolutely delicious too,
Yeah.
right?
Even in the winter, because we got all the servers coming in.
Yeah, all
They
the
were
locals
ones-
still, right? Yeah. I haven't been down. When was the last time you were down at Sporties?
Oh, about 3 months ago, and it's not. It's a vintage inn. It's
It's vintage now?
yeah. It's honestly changeover is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in any bar.
Yeah.
I've seen the places where, and I'm sorry, when owners make you weigh your booze, they think they're saving money. They're not. Because the amount of time you're paying that staff member for trying to find out one shot maybe that disappeared.
Yeah. The Blue
But
Bear
there-
Brandy. We're
Yeah.
we started that tonight?
Yeah.
Right?
But there it was ridiculous because they make the server that's leaving weigh it. The person that's coming on weigh it. The person that's leaving has to do their cash, which is normal. The person that's coming on has to do the other person's cash when they're done.
Yeah.
They both have to count the flow. So basically there's about 25 minutes in the sports bar where you can't get a drink. And I don't mean you might have to wait for a drink. No. they basically shut the bar down for that 25 minutes while everybody does their paper.
Well, there has to be some justification on why they'd be doing it or they would not be doing it.
Yeah, I guess there was. I mean, it's a sports bar. So when they took over, maybe there was a lot of things.
There's a lot of like gray,
missing.
little gray areas. Like,
Yeah.
okay, there was like 6 cases of vodka went missing last year. There's not
Yeah.
accounted for you. They're bought. Purchase order went through. The invoices went through, but that was about it.
Yeah. That actually happened to me at the sports bar once, and it really pissed me off. My liquor cost was always pretty high.
Yeah.
I ran about a 33, 34%. They wanted about 27, 28. But I also did just under $1 million 1 year in sales.
What?
Yes. Was at 997,000. So
In the
basically-
sports bar.
In the sports bar.
Holy shit!
But that was not me. That was Megan that got it up to that. I took over.
How did you get it
from
up to
Megan.
that? Just promotions in the place?
Megan just ran a bar that was cool. Like we had on Sunday nights, we had the trailer park specials. Like you come in with 2 smokes and you get a rum and coke. You know.
Oh Jesus! Really?
Yeah. So there was, of course, there was going to be liquor shortages, but
Yeah, like the
it only
3-for-1
happened
deals,
once.
right?
You
Kinda-
could, you couldn't just keep coming in 2 all night long cigarettes, right? You
Yeah.
come in. So basically, it was you get your first drink free. Well, now they're there for the night.
Yeah, to get
So-
them in the door, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have those costs just to bring people back in.
And
right?
in winter, people don't want to get up off their couch in Niagara Lake. So
No.
get them out. And once they're out, it's too cold to
Well,
go
you
back
had,
home.
you had the religious guys that were there, not the religious, but they religiously always went there at 11 a.m., just like boom.
Oh.
I've been in a situation where I've been at the bar at 11 a.m. I see those
Yeah.
people. I'm like,
The
Jesus
same
Christ.
people,
They have
yeah.
that fresh haircut, everything going. And usually it's me because I'm like,
Yeah.
hungover from the night before. Quick couple before I actually go in for my shift.
Well, you got to get the fogs of war from the night before.
Yeah,
right?
what would you
System.
what would you rather have me? You can justify it, right? Like, okay, I had a couple C's just to make myself straight, or would you rather me just walk in there groggy eyed like,
Yeah.
good boy life? At least I'm in a better mood now, right?
Yeah, and if I'm gonna smell like booze at work, I'd much rather smell like fresh booze.
Yeah, 'cause
There's
it's like,
nothing worse
oh, you
than
smell
the
like
whole-
brewery. Yeah, I was drunk last night. You smell
Yeah.
like fresh one. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's
Is that a
kinda
little
nice.
lemon in that beer? Is that one of those
Yeah.
craft beers from down the street? So where'd you end up after Sporties? Was it
That's when I went to Putty's. Yeah. And honestly, it was a great experience working at Putty's. But I took over from Megan at the my first job as general manager at Sports Bar was to fire Megan, and she was doing a great job. So the only reason why they got rid of her is because the old owners were paying her too much. So what do you do? Okay, you're the new GM. Your first job is to fire Megan. Well, we were friends.
well, they
so-
also do that as a test to you as well. Like,
Let's
what
see if
kind of
you got
balls
it.
do you have? Because she was your manager, right?
Yeah.
And they want to put you above her to do that.
Yeah.
It's just a gut test, right?
So,
These guys have balls or what?
So then, what happened at the sports bar? I left there. Megan was part owner of Putty's, and said, "Ah, here Adam's looking for a job. I'll hire him." Well, she ended up getting pregnant. Didn't know she was pregnant, so her hormones were all whacked. It was her first child, so I guess there was a bit of stress going on there. So Putty's first job of me becoming management there was
To
to
fire
get
her? Come on.
Megan two places in a row.
And she hired you at this fucking place
Both
too,
places.
right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
She hired me at the sports bar, and she hired me at Putty's.
And you had to fire her for both
Both
places.
times.
Did you
Yeah.
explain to her like
Oh, we're still friends.
you're still friends?
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
No, Megan was awesome. She always said if somebody's gonna take her job, let it be one of her crew. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she
not
got
an
that crew
outsider.
together.
Yeah, not an
Yeah.
outsider coming in and like, oh well, I don't like your work ethic. You're fired. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, buddy.
yeah.
Right. So how do you think, since when you started, right, bartending and serving and everything like that, to now when you're doing the diner, what has changed? You think it's changed like it's changed drastically? Even like
Well,
the 12 years
yeah.
I've been doing this.
Okay, so the huge thing is drinking and driving. Used to be a lottery whether you got caught drinking, right? So people would fall in their car, especially in Niagara Lake. Everybody's close. But now with the one drink thing, and there's a huge stigma on it too. You know, like if your dad got busted for drinking and driving, now you get made fun of at school. Back in my day, it was like
It's nothing.
nothing. It wasn't even brought up. It
3
was-
times a week, like nothing,
Yeah.
right? Like, well, there's a big difference. There's some people that can have the 2 drinks, right?
Yeah.
And they can't even see straight. But you have the old timers, right?
Yeah.
They need those 6 beers just to stop the hands from going,
Oh, yeah.
right? And they can
Yeah.
drive straight and narrow. They go do everything
They
else
don't
after that.
speed. They don't do everything because
Yeah.
they've been drinking and driving for years. They don't want to.
Yeah. They
And
don't
they're
do
the
the
ones
test
that
half
have their headlights always working, their taillights working because they don't want to get pulled over. They're the
They know-
safest drivers.
They know it oh too well. But
Yeah.
that's one of the big things you think has changed?
Oh, it's massive. Liquor inspectors now have the right to stick their head in the kitchen, health inspector has a right to stick their head behind a bar. I don't think that's
Oh,
that's right.
Remember that guy we had at the beach with the floor?
the young
No,
guy.
it wasn't the young guy. It was the woman.
Yeah.
Remember how bad she was? It was when we were first there.
Oh, if we were first there, I think you're talking about Brigida. And
Yeah, Bridget or something like
No,
that.
Brigida. Not
Brigida?
even Brigida. I called her Brigida once. Yeah. It's Brigida. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's like worse than a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? They do have to do their job. They do some well, but like a lot of the time, they're just fucking. They have like a chip on their shoulder.
She worked at institutions before that. So all her health inspections had been in old folks' home and stuff like that, hospitals, where they close down after breakfast and reset, close down after lunch. Well, in restaurants and hotels, the only time it's closed is when it's closed. So you
Yeah.
don't have that 2 hours between breakfast and lunch to tear everything apart, clean it, you know. So when she walked in, I think we were her first restaurant, but that was Bruce with the watermelon. She's sitting there going off over something, and Bruce just reaches in, grabs a piece of watermelon, eats it, sucks out his fingers clean, and goes in for a second. And she's just like, "You cannot just do that." And he's like, "What?" He had no idea that you just can't do that.
Oh, do you remember the one time Mitch and I were going to fuck with him? So we had like the wings. He asked us to make the wings, so we just put 2 suicides. Like that was the first time we made the hot peppers. Actually, I remember I got to talk to you about the hot peppers.
Yeah.
But the hot peppers ones, we did like the hot sauce blue cheese one, put it on the bottom, just eat. And he's like, "You fucking cocksuckers! God damn it!" We put like one of those chai chilies in one of the wings, and he fucking The guy we're referring to as an old boss of ours. Is how bad we used to fucking torment this guy. Awful. Yeah. So when do you start getting into the hot peppers and like organic growing?
Basically, I've been growing peppers for years, and then about 5 years ago,